Okay, are you ready? Shall we begin? Let's do it. And when I say let's do it, we're gonna 1,000% do it properly. I've got the theme tune queued up for you as well. Are you ready for this? Let's go.
No dirty talk, just podcasts, no turn-ons, so turn me on. By that I mean, this podcast, not interested, so don't date me. Review me, just rate me, like, subscribe, don't date me. Review me, just rate me, like, subscribe, don't date me. Don't date me. Don't date me. Don't date me. Play the podcast. Don't date me.
Get your keys in the bowl, get the pampas grass at the door, get your knickers down and have a ball. And no, don't date me.
And don't date me.
Don't date me. Date me, no way, don't call me baby. Don't date me, date me, date me, date me. Don't date me.
Hello, you're listening to Don't Date Me, a podcast from Scotland about dating. I'm Jamie, a 6'4" bisexual man and closeted Christian, and I would like to tell you that trans lives matter, because I don't feel we've ever said that at any point in the podcast history, and it's been a year. So just so you know that's where we're at. Hope you're well. Hope you've had a great week so far. It is Thursday. I'm just looking to make sure it is definitely Thursday, because I've recorded things out of sequence and I don't know what day it is anymore. It's been a nice day today. I had a day off today, so I've crammed it to the maximus, full of podcast stuff. So I've actually already edited next week's episode, which is the last episode of the season, which I'll tell you about in a bit because I'm super excited about it. But the other thing I'm excited for is the fact that I'm going speed dating with friends. And that's what really is the theme of this week's episode, which I'm super excited about. As always, follow or subscribe wherever you're listening. If you're watching this live on YouTube, hello. And if you're also watching this live on Twitch, hello to you as well. Give us a follow there. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the bell notification as well so you get notified when the latest episodes go up. Because not only do I do the podcast episodes on the YouTube channel, there's lots of other stuff there going on as well, which you can find out for yourself. Twitch is all about just video game let's plays, to be honest. But shout out to the most loyal of all the people, and that is the peeps over listening on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We just want to say thank you so much for listening to the show for the past year. It has been quite the journey. There's been lots of stuff happening in the background of the podcast, which we will tell you more about in future episodes, and also in a behind the scenes documentary that we're going to be filming over the course of seasons 5 and 6, which will eventually be shared on YouTube. And we're excited to share it, but we're also kind of a little bit apprehensive too, because there has been a lot of things going on. But in addition to that, also just shout out to everyone that's been on the podcast for the past year. So that's Jason, James, Richie, who was a listener, has became my friend and is now a podcast regular, which is hilarious. Emma Jane as well, Gwen, Kirsty, Lindsay, who else has been on it? Man, loads of people. So loads of people that have had some great stories to share, and it's been really fun to kind of go down this rabbit hole with you all and kind of explore sexual identity and the things that matter most to us. So yeah, I've really enjoyed it, and I'm excited to kind of keep the ball rolling, keep the momentum going. I can't even say the word momentum though, and for that reason I'm going to have a sip of my latte. Oh, it's such a glorious day outside, and my curtains are closed right now because it helps with the sound. So it's kind of strange because usually this setup for me is what I'm doing when I've got my Let's Plays going on for video games. So it feels kind of strange to be sitting in my lounge with the curtains closed. But then again, I guess it's strange to be sitting in your lounge with a camera in front of you and ring lights. So all of it's a bit weird. But anyway, it's now time for everyone's favourite podcast feature in the world. It is time for Swipe Left, Swipe Right. So that's when we tell you what's hot or not each week. So Swipe Left is if the thing that we think should get in the bin, and Swipe Right is get right inside me. So my Swipe Left this week, this is like the week of just being brutally frank and honest. My Swipe Left this week, get in the bin, is attracting people who like to party. I don't know what it is. Now, I appreciate right now I'm wearing guy liner, and sometimes I wear nail varnish, and, you know, I like tequila, but I don't like to party, and also I don't ever really go out. So I just find it really amusing that over this past year, I've done a lot of self-reflection. As we know, I did counselling stuff as well. And what I really have reflected on is I keep attracting people that I know are not gonna work out. It seems to be the vibe, really. And so what I've decided henceforth is just to be really explicit about what I am not looking for and what I am looking for. So just so that's also said on the record, that's not my bag, baby. And it hasn't been for a long time, to be honest, but it's just really funny that I keep attracting people like that. So my plan, or my pledge as it is, as you know, we're like big advocates on the podcast for counselling and therapy and stuff like that. I keep saying to my friend, like I kept saying to my friends, oh, you should do counselling, you should do therapy, it's so useful. And I did it so much to the point where some of my friends actually did start doing counselling as well. But I've not been doing it for a while, so I think I need to go back into therapy. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to work out those issues and work out once and for all why I keep attracting duds. Perfect. Emma Jane's not here right now to like give me in trouble for saying things. So I can say whatever I want. Okay, my swipe right this week. So the things that I'm swiping right on. Wait, did I swipe in the right way there? Oh no, does that look like I'm swiping left to you? Oh, I'll need to practice that. Hey, we'll work that out another time. Okay, my swipe right is the fact that my brother is getting married. How exciting is that? So my little brother, who is quite a lot younger than me, is getting married. So, and I'm the best man as well. So there's that whole thing. So it's like a journey for us both. And yeah, I'm very excited for them. They make a beautiful couple. I'm so excited to go on that journey with them as well. Now, the other thing that I'm swiping right on is all the exciting things that are happening in the podcast behind the scenes. So as I said earlier, we've got the whole kind of behind the scenes documentary thing that will be happening during seasons 5 and 6, which is wild to think about. Why do I do this to myself? Why do I give myself so much stuff to do? So that's exciting. But also, as a thank you gift to you for listening to us for the past year, and you know, I do the majority of the work in terms of like social media and editing and all that kind of stuff. In terms of themes and things like that, that's where really all my friends come in, and also in terms of shaping the discussions and stuff as well. But ultimately, what we wanted to do is give something back. So what we're going to be doing is we've got a subscription that you can sign up to if you want to. And that's really just a way of showing your support for the podcast, but also giving back as well. So if you listen on Apple Podcasts, other podcast services are available. You can subscribe. I don't think it's live right now. I think it's being approved right now, so I'm waiting for it to go live. But we've got, I'm so excited to tell you about it. We've got a subscription with a special name. It's called Crueler Intentions, as in the donut. Do you see what we did there? If you don't know what a crueler donut is, you don't know what I'm talking about, and that's perfectly fine. But I thought it was funny, so anyway, that's what we're calling it. and nobody else has said I can't call it that, so that's what we're calling it. So Crueler Intentions is just like a little bit of extra goods on the side. So if you want to spice up your week, there's a free trial of it where you can do, I think it's like a 3-day free trial that it's going to be, and then after that I think it's like $3.99 a month. Obviously we're not expecting people to like say subscribe for 12 months, like don't be ridiculous, you've got other things you need to pay for. But if you want to gain access to all the legacy mini episodes of the podcast, of which there is quite a lot, and also if you want to gain access to a podcast that existed before Don't Date Me, then you can subscribe and you'll get access to all those episodes, which is super fun. And there's going to be loads more coming in the future as well, because I'm going to start doing mini episodes. I'm not sure if we're going to do mini episodes in season 5. We're probably going to do it in season 6. But anyway, that's enough of that. But I'm super excited about it, and it's really just to say thank you for listening and showing your support for the show. Because obviously, and also what I would stress as well is like, if you can't support the show by subscribing, or maybe you don't even listen on that podcast platform, that's okay too. Just showing your love, whether it be through, you know, reviews and stuff like that, that also helps the show as well. And even if you're watching on YouTube, doing a thumbs up, that helps the algorithm, baby. Now, that's enough of that podcast nonsense. Let's get into the meat of this. Okay, so in a minute, I'm going to be telling you about my speed dating experience. But before that, we have a message from our sponsors.
So, you're single and you're ready to mingle, but you don't know where to start. You could go to the bar, but that's kind of intimidating. You could try online dating, but we all know how that can go. Speed dating from Eventi brings you completely inclusive events, welcoming people of all genders and sexualities. Whether you identify as LGBTQ+ or not, Eventi Speed Dating is the perfect opportunity for you to put yourself out there and have a laugh with friends. Their events take place in Glasgow, Edinburgh and Newcastle, with plans to expand to other cities in the UK. And let me tell you, these events are not to be missed. You might just find your next partner in crime, or at least a great story to tell your friends. Grab your tickets on theeventi.com and join us for an unforgettable night of laughter, fun and maybe even a little bit more. Speed Dating by Eventi. Unique, inclusive events for all.
Are you an avid reader who's always on the go? Do you find yourself struggling to sit down and make time to read a good book like I do? Well, look no further than Audible. With our 30-day free trial, you can access thousands of audiobooks and listen to them anytime, anywhere, on smartphones, tablets, or computers. Whether you're commuting, exercising, drunk baking, avoiding dating, going on your walk of shame, or just relaxing, Audible makes it easy to enjoy your favourite books on the go. With a huge selection of titles from best-selling authors, classic literature and new releases, you'll definitely find something that suits your interests. Plus, with features like offline listening, chapter navigation, and the ability to adjust the playback speed, you can customize your listening experience to fit your exact preferences. So why wait? Show your support for the Don't Date Me podcast and sign up for your 30-day free trial of Amazon Audible today. Click the link in the show notes of the episode to redeem your free trial so you can start listening to your favourite books on your terms. Other audiobook services are available. Welcome back to the show. If you've just joined us, I am Jamie. I am one of the many people, the team that make up Don't Date Me, but hello, and I hope you're enjoying the show so far. Now, I'm going to tell you about my experience with speed dating, and it's not actually from our sponsor. Shout out to Eventi, by the way. See that advert, by the way? It was kind of like, I didn't expect to make some sort of like, what's the name of that video game again? Why have I immediately forgot the name of that video game? The one where it's like based in Night City And it's all Cyberpunk. There you go. Cyberpunk 2077 or whatever it's called meets Matrix. I wasn't planning that vibe, but that's the vibe we've gone for. So I think it's because I didn't want to do some sort of like, whenever you think of like a speed dating podcast advert, you immediately think of some sort of jazz infused like thing with people talking in the background and glasses clinking, and I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do something different. Anyway, that's my thoughts on that. In terms of speed dating, I have gone speed dating before, not with the Eventi, but with a different speed dating company years ago. Now, I must have been in my 20s, right? So I'm 37 now, as I have stated many times. I must have been in my 20s, so I must have been about 20, I think 26, something like that, a long time ago. And when I went, it was in a bar in Glasgow. I think it was All Bar 1, I think it was. And I didn't seek it out. It's almost like speed dating sought me out. My friend asked me to go because she was really up for it. Now, it was a straight one. It was a straight speed dating night. And my friend said to me, okay, I really want to do this. I know it's not your bag, but let's go for it. You're bisexual. Let's just have a time. So I said to her, I was like, do you know what? Okay, I'm going to go. I'm going to go with an open mind, and we're going to see what's what. And we'll just go for it. So, needless to say, I straightened it up for the night. You know, it's funny being bisexual because sometimes you camp up a little bit and other times you just kind of like act a bit more straight, to be honest. I do anyway, I find. Sometimes I'm not even aware I'm doing it, to be honest. But yeah, it was exactly what I expected it to be like. I went in, I had like my little name badge, we got some drinks, and then we just kind of got to it. And I met some interesting people, I had some chat, and overall I think I had a good time. But for me it wasn't very successful because it was a straight dating night. And I'm super queer, and so it just didn't meet my needs. And I feel like I couldn't really be myself, to be honest. And although there was a broad mixture of people, it felt almost too broad. Like, I felt like I didn't have anything in common with anyone. And that's really why, for me, it wasn't successful. My friend as well, like, she met an interesting guy, but they didn't really hit it off. And so nothing ever happened for her either. So that was just our experience of speed dating. But if you've had a positive experience of speed dating, by all means, let us know. You can contact the show via Instagram, or you can leave a comment in the YouTube chat as well. Okay, but what I would say is the Eventi sounds different. So this is a company that's based in Glasgow. And as you heard in the advert a minute ago, they offer speed dating events that are inclusive. And so they're welcoming of all genders and sexualities. But they also aim to create a safe space for the neurodivergent too, which I thought is super cool. So effectively, those who are autistic or have ADHD, like myself. So, and to be honest, it's funny, like I've never really, I think because, see, my ADHD, like the way it affects me is really, it's more about matters of productivity and focus and less about socially, really. I think I feel only when life's really stressful that my ADHD can like impact my relationships, to be honest. So for me, I've never really considered it as a factor when dating. Unless I can, like, see if I've had coffee, case in point coffee, sometimes people that I've dated have been like, I see you've had a coffee, because I get more hyper than usual. Literally, that's why I'm having coffee right now, so I can get the hype up. But it is what it is. But obviously for other people who are on the spectrum, you know, they face more of a challenge, or can face more of a challenge. So I think it's really cool that there's a company that, you know, aims to create a safe space. So I'm excited to see that in practice. And yeah, as I said, so they've got those events that happen in Glasgow, Edinburgh and Newcastle as well. So we're getting into like, this is almost like radio show territory now, because it's been a long time since I've done an event for, like an announcement for a local event, but here we go. So on the 23rd of May, there is a gay speed dating night, and that's going to be happening in Revolution in Edinburgh. Oh, I said Revolution, weird there. Revolution. And then we've also got one happening on the 23rd of May. Oh wait, I've already read that. There you go. Oh, sorry. My bad. I've lost the ability to read. The next one is the 25th of May, and that's happening in Glasgow. And that's going to be in Bar Block Steakhouse in Glasgow. And that's the one that me and the boys are going to. So far I think it's me, James and Jason that's going. And we're quite excited. Shout out to Richie though, because Richie was the person that came across this company in the first place. And that's what's led to this fun partnership that we're having now. But the thing that's really cool though is that it's not just gay dating nights, it's also straight ones, lesbian nights, and loads more as well. Like I know they do a bisexual one too. So you can check out their website for more information, which is theeventi.com. And to actually buy tickets, you can go to Eventbrite, the app that you can download, and you can get the tickets there. So let's find out what the boys are saying about their thoughts on the matter. So James messaged earlier, and he said that his aim is to just enjoy not having to converse through an app, and also meeting people that he wouldn't usually talk to unless it was just them. He says he's pretty excited about the whole thing, which is fun. Yeah, I think that's the thing that I think is kind of cool about speed dating. It's almost like speed dating isn't the point, it's like meeting people in the real world is the point. And I think in this day and age it's sometimes a bit difficult to do that. And then let's double check what Richie said. Now we're not sure if Richie's actually going to be able to make the night, but he's saying that he is both excited and nervous. Nervous because the idea of basically being judged by a series of strangers in quick succession makes him want to whitey. Something about it gives him the ick. Even though I'd be doing the same thing, but equally it's exciting. I haven't done the dating thing via apps in the same way most people have, so I remember the excitement of meeting folk in real life, in a real life setting for the first time, and I'd love to get back to that. Not convinced we can ever... Wait, I should have read this before I read this out loud. Not convinced we ever can though, since apps are such a part of gay culture, especially when hooking up. This is very true. Which I'm not against at all, but for me, I'd rather just meet someone, even just dating. Hopefully the other guy is taking part of a similar mind frame, at least out to have a good laugh and meet some other queer folk. Other things that concerns me is the age of folk. Like, what if they're all either too young or too old? Oh, I've not thought of that. But to be honest, well, the age thing, as we have realised through other episodes, doesn't really bother me all that much, to be honest. But he says, fuck it. Always down for new experiences. In the wise words of Dr. Pepper, what's the worst that could happen? And you know what, Richie, I feel you. What is the worst that could happen? Ultimately, you know, you're going to meet these people. It could be terrible. It really could be, but it could also be amazing. And imagine you met your life partner at speed dating. It would be a story for the ages. So, I am thrilled and excited for that. Now, we want to know your thoughts on speed dating. So you can do that not by leaving a comment on Facebook or Twitter, because we're not prioritising those social media platforms anymore because of time management. Instead, you can leave a comment on Instagram, or you can send a WhatsApp by hitting the contact button and sending a WhatsApp. You can also do WhatsApp voice notes as well. Also, 1,000%, if you're going to go to any of these nights, and especially one in Glasgow on the 25th of May, then drop us a message and let us know, because it would be so fun to meet you and have banter as well on the night. That would be very funny. I could envision James dating a listener. That's potentially awkward. Moving on. So, but yeah, don't forget to be part of the Don't Date Me community by following us over on Instagram. I've already said that. How awkward. Well, this is what happens when you do it live and you can't edit it. But let me tell you, I'm going to have a sip of coffee. And we're just going to pretend that never happened. See, if we were doing this, like recording this and not doing it live, Emma Jane or me would click our fingers, because that's what we do. We click our fingers into the microphone so that when I'm editing it, I can see the sound peak up and I know where to edit it. But I can't do that because this is live. Fantastic. Yes, speaking of Emma Jane, her and I, next week, on the season finale of Don't Date Me, will be having a very exciting, dynamic and interesting conversation with none other than the original co-creator of the Don't Date Me podcast, Sarah. Sarah will be returning with a vengeance, and we're going to be having a really in-depth discussion. I almost managed not to laugh. Hang on. We're having a really intimate, serious discussion about pegging. That's right, about doing your boyfriend. I'm going to regret doing all this stuff in 10 years, aren't I? The thing that I'm most curious about, actually, is see the people that I have dated who I don't talk to anymore. I'm just really aware that one day they're going to go, I wonder what he's up to. And then they're going to like search online and see that I'm making a podcast. And then they'll compulsively listen to all the episodes because they'll get super paranoid thinking I'm going to talk about them. Oh, hey Dylan. Thanks for watching on YouTube. High fives to you. Also be excited, Dylan, because although you're watching this on YouTube right now I'm giving you a shout out on multiple podcast platforms, because after this episode airs on YouTube and Twitch, I upload it to the podcast services. So you're gonna forever get a shout out now. So you're welcome. Do you have any messages for the people? Have you ever been speed dating? Let me know, and I'll let the people know forever. Don't forget to hit that bell notification. Anyway, so, and when I listened back to going back to what I was saying though about the episode for next week, when I was listening back to the episode, it's real good. Like I think it's probably my favourite one, because like Sarah hasn't been on the podcast since season 1, I think, and a lot of stuff has happened since then, so it's really great to have her back. And yeah, and I'm excited. I felt quite proud actually to be able to show her what we've been working on and show her how we've grown it all, and the fact that we're at the point now where we're getting actual sponsors and stuff, and you know, I'm getting the subscription model set up with Apple Podcasts. Other podcast services are available. I'm just really excited to continue it. So yeah. So yeah, wherever you're listening, hit follow or subscribe, and you'll get that episode when it's fresh, hot and fresh. So that's really it for this week. I hope you have a beautiful day. Go out and enjoy the sun. To be honest, most people will probably be watching this or listening to this later on. That's really it. I don't really have anything else to say. My plans for the rest of the evening, what am I going to do? Probably some wine. I feel like I need some wine and cake, because ultimately this is it for the season podcast now. It's over, baby. We can relax for at least 2 weeks. Hooray! Okay. So as we say, why did I not plan what I was going to say again? Right, hang on. So if you're new to the podcast, every episode we say stay something, and then we say don't forget blah 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 blah, and whatever you do, don't date me. And on the normal podcast episodes, we like plan it behind the scenes before we do the thing. But every time I do a live episode now, I forget to do it. So stay subscribed. Sure, it's relevant, because this is basically like the most promotional episode of all the podcast episodes, right? People said about me pushing my own agenda. Well, this is the gay agenda, baby. Oh, hey Natalie, shout out to you. So Natalie from Eventi has just popped up into the chat of YouTube, and also Emma Jane has just popped up as well. So Natalie saying, hello, Natalie from Eventi here. Hope you're good. Can't wait to have you at our speed dating night. Yay. Natalie, I was saying to everyone about the vibe and how I'm excited for what you're doing. I think it's really cool. Like, I love the inclusivity. I love the kind of like consideration for the neurodivergent as well. I just think it's really cool. Do you have any messages for people that you want to say, or I don't know, or do you have any advice for people in terms of getting ready for date night with speed dating? And Emma Jane, what are you up to? Let me know in the chat. And also, if you have an idea of how to end this episode, that would be great. So, because I don't want to finish the episode saying stay subscribed. That feels lame. What I am realising now, though, is that whilst I won't have to edit the majority of this episode, I will have to edit this last bit. I'll give you 1 minute to type. Go for it. I'm just going to have a sip of coffee. Emma Jane is chilling after work. Beautiful. We love it. We love to see it. How should we end the episode? Or actually, Emma Jane, here's a question for you, right? What is your thoughts about speed dating? How do you think this is going to go for me, James, and Jason? Will it be... Well, obviously we'll have a fun night regardless. But I'm just curious as to see who will end up with whom. Do you know what I mean? Is it gonna work? Oh, it's a cliffhanger. This is so funny though, because we're going speed dating in like a couple of weeks' time, right? So it's going to be, you'll have to follow the podcast. If you want to know what happens on that speed dating night, you're going to need to follow so you hear the follow-up episode. Emma Jane's being very unspecific. She's saying she thinks it depends on the circumstances. Do you mean it depends how drunk I get? That is what you mean, isn't it? Okay, let's end the episode here. Yeah, exactly. How drunk we all get. Thank you so much. Your support is, as ever, appreciated. So, as we say in the same way, every single week, every single episode for the past 4 seasons, without any deviation, which hasn't been problematic at all because we actually now don't have a catchphrase really for the show, and we should probably fix that at some point. So if you have any suggestions, please let me know. But stay subscribed. Don't forget to get your tickets for speed dating. The links in the show notes. And whatever you do, don't date me. See you next week for the last episode of season 4.
So, you're single and you're ready to mingle, but you don't know where to start. You could go to the bar, but that's kind of intimidating. You could try online dating, but we all know how that can go. Speed dating from Eventi brings you completely inclusive events, welcoming people of all genders and sexualities. Whether you identify as LGBTQ+ or not, Eventi Speed Dating is the perfect opportunity for you to put yourself out there and have a laugh with friends. Their events take place in Glasgow, Edinburgh and Newcastle, with plans to expand to other cities in the UK. And let me tell you, these events are not to be missed. You might just find your next partner in crime, or at least a great story to tell your friends. Grab your tickets on theeventi.com and join us for an unforgettable night of laughter, fun and maybe even a little bit more. Speed Dating by Eventi. Unique, inclusive events for all.
So just a quick FYI in the chat there, Natalie came back with some advice. She said her advice would be just to be yourself, as cliche as it sounds, and try not to be nervous. It's always such a lovely crowd every time. And then Dylan says that he couldn't do speed dating. Well, Dylan, I'm going to do it for you. You're welcome. Hey, thank you for listening. The Don't Date Me podcast is created by Jamie Sparks Productions. If you enjoyed it, follow our show and rate it 5 stars on Apple Podcasts or wherever you're listening. You can rate us each time you listen to an episode. Pure do it, as it helps people find our show. Keep in touch by dropping us an email at don'tdatemepod@itsjamiesparks.com and follow us on Twitter or Instagram at don'tdatemepod. If you love what we're doing, please consider donating to UNICEF to aid the people of Ukraine. Recently, our listeners raised £410 after gift matching. You can find the link in the show notes. See you on the next episode.
No bueno.